Previously, on Taverns and Caverns, Path B, we met a traveling merchant by the name of Figlu Clutterbuck that offered to help us find and slay Gralnox the wyvern. And with the Goddess Supreme guiding us, we came across this apex beast, a frightening creature with the ability to kill you swiftly from its poisonous stinger. At first, it wasn't looking promising for us, but with Figlu's help and the Goddess Supreme watching over us, we were eventually able to fell the beast. I'm thankful that everyone made it out of the battle alive. With the deal completed, Figlu traded some of his wares with us and continued on his merry way. And now, we prepare to bring back part of Gralnox as proof of his demise before heading back to the village of Ormsa. Thank the Goddess Supreme. Episode 16, Festivities in Ormsa, Path B. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Taverns and Caverns, everyone. This is your Dungeon Master, HaphazardDM. And last time on Taverns and Caverns, Season 3, Path B. The party, Nomu, Yelar, and Relinoa, had teamed up with a merchant goblin by the name of Figlu Clutterbuck to take on the apex wyvern known as Gralnox. Figlu had met the party while they were staying in the cabin and agreed to help them and sell some of his wares at a discount if they were able to defeat the wyvern, because Figlu, his current path and destination he was heading to, was being blocked by the wyvern. So it was a win-win situation for Figlu regardless, teaming up with the party or not teaming up with them. But it did seem to be like a difficult fight for the party, so it was good that Figlu did help out. He was able to throw some potions to heal the party. He wasn't able to really damage the wyvern. That was mostly Yelar and Nomu. But again, it was an apex wyvern. Gralnox did massive damage, particularly with its poison attacks. Nomu took heavy damage. If I remember, Yelar, I think you dropped down to 0 HP at some point. It's been a while since we played, but I'm pretty sure you did get knocked down.
You did.
Yeah,
you did.
And thanks to Relinoa's healing, the party was able to survive this difficult scenario. But where we left off was Figlu was able to sell some of his goods to Yelar and Nomu, and he had went on his merry way, leaving the party behind. So it's now just the three standing there. They had beheaded the Gralnox wyvern because the village chieftain of Ormsa had told them that they need to bring some sort of proof that they have vanquished the wyvern. So with that being the case, we're going to start exactly where we left off, was right after the party had beheaded the wyvern. They're now headed back towards Ormsa. Now, if you remember, it was about a day and a half to 2 days worth of travel to get to the mountains where this wyvern was. So it's going to be another day and a half to 2 days for the party to reach the village. But as the party heads off, basically take the same path you took to get here. So you are going to be passing by the cabin that you rested at. And for simplicity's sake, we'll go ahead and say, once you get to that cabin, the party will take the opportunity for another long rest after that battle. You don't want to continue traveling in Strider Valley without being fully healed and aware due to the dangers that Strider Valley does have within it. So the party has a long rest. All your HP and spells will be returned to you. And I want to do a bit of fast traveling back to Ormsa Village. But before we get there, we'll say you're back at the cabin taking that long rest. Is there anything either one of you will want to do while you're back at this cabin, long resting, before we fast travel?
Nomu's going to cook up a few chunks of the Gralnox meat to take with him.
Okay.
He's going to leave some of it raw, but he's going to cook up some of it.
All right, so you're cooking up some of that wyvern meat.
Oh, yeah.
And what is Yelar doing while Nomu is cooking some of Gralnox's corpse?
Yelar is going to be taking notes, watching to see Nomu's effects of eating wyvern meat.
Okay, so you're more interested in if there's going to be any negative effects to eating a wyvern. Now, I will say, in the land of Tyristor, wyverns are not considered a common meat that most people will eat. Now, there are definitely situations where people have eaten a wyvern, but it's not very common, at least not in the major cities of the nation of Londe anyways. Perhaps in the Darkfin marshes, or maybe even Zogun, possibly Ossia, where most of the druids are. They try not to waste anything that they kill. But, wyvern meat to this day, Yelar, sounds like you've never had it, so it will be a good opportunity for you to study the effects.
Yeah.
Now, Relinoa is in the cabin as well, sitting in the corner on one of the chairs, and she's just kind of sitting there quietly, which is not too common. She's typically talking to herself, but she has out a journal and she seems to just be writing in it. She pulled out a small jar of ink, and you see she has a quill in her hand as she is writing in this journal quietly to herself, leaving the two of you at peace to do whatever you want to do. Nomu, you're able to cook that wyvern up. Go ahead and make me a skill check here to see how well you cook this wyvern. And I'm going to say for your skill check here, go ahead and make me, let's see here. Let me look here. Let's do a survival check for cooking.
All right.
22. Nomu the monstrous, he does not lie. He is a monster hunter. That was his background from the get-go. Nomu understands how to cook beasts and monsters on the go. Yelar, as you're watching Nomu cook parts of this wyvern with a survival of 22, he is doing so so delicately. He has a sharp knife that cuts into the meat as he's cooking it. How are you cooking it, Nomu? Are you grilling it, or like how are you trying to cook this thing? Do you have like a pot? Are you making a stew?
He's got himself a pan that he saw in the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of just braising it, doing some searing. He found some butter, threw it in there.
Okay.
Butter basting it. You hear a satisfying sizzle.
Okay. And as I mentioned, this cabin is used for travelers from Ormsa. Many of the miners that travel back and forth to the mountains, they will use this cabin as a resting point. So yes, this cabin does hold some basic utensils and items that you can use to cook. So there's definitely a pan and whatnot. You do find some butter in there. So you're able to cook this, and it smells delightful, Yelar. You can smell it, and the way it looks, it's starting to potentially make you hungry.
It will make him hungry. With a 22, that definitely will make him hungry.
All right. So as you see him finishing the cooking, does Yelar say or do anything at this point?
Nomu, I was wondering if I could have a little taste.
Oh, of course.
Smells awfully good.
Here, let me slice you off a piece. What's going on back there? You want some tour, Relinoa?
She looks up from her journal that she's writing in, and she takes a sniff. It does smell pretty good. I mean, I guess I'll have a piece. I don't need a lot. I'm not that hungry, actually, but I'll have a piece.
He portions it off.
Okay.
Yep. She says she doesn't want a lot, but he portions them off equally in her big pieces.
Oh yeah, this was an Apex Wyvern. You have some big chunks.
Oh yeah. She's getting the full portion.
Yep. So Yelar, you are handed a plate as well as Relinoa. You see Relinoa, she takes the plate, she nods, thanking you as she dips the quill, or I should say she taps the quill on a piece of parchment, laying it down, and then placing her journal to the side. So she holds the plate in both hands. She looks down at it. Oh, this actually smells pretty good. It looks pretty tasty too. Kind of reminds me of a steak. Any seasoning did you add to this?
Just a few things, but I found around. Most of it's salt.
Oh, okay. That's fine. All right. Well, bon appetit, I guess. She'll take a bite into it with a survival of 22. And you see, as she takes a bite, her eyes widen, face lights up. She looks pleased. She's got this grin on her face. Oh my. The God Supreme. This is absolutely delicious, Nomu.
Oh, I see. What do you think?
Yelar will also take a bite. and he's going to have the same reaction.
Mhm.
Wow. No more. Are you a chef?
No, but I do know how to cook the
Hmm.
beast.
Have you ever thought about maybe once you retire from your adventuring days that you set up a restaurant at some point?
That's not a bad idea.
I agree. That would be amazing.
Think about it. Think about it. Nomu, the monstrous restaurante, where you specialize in exotic foods, specifically monsters.
I will have to think about this.
Although, please refrain from cooking kobolds at your restaurant. That would be frowned upon very heavily.
But I mean, if he cooks it at the way he cooked his wyvern, I mean,
Damn.
no, you're right. You're right. That's wrong.
Rono looks at you, Yelar. Yelar. Tactically, I guess he could cook you the way he cooked this meat. Would you be okay with
Uh, I mean,
I mean, damn.
that?
this wyvern is pretty good.
Had him thinking.
He's thinking hard. He's second guessing himself. All right. Look, listen. This is delicious, Nomu, but I am not going to support any ventures of cannibalism.
I
But-
won't eat kobold.
Oh, thank you. I will hold you to that. But this is delicious, Nomu. Very well done. Thank you.
No problem.
So as she continues to eat the wyvern meat, she devours it, and she did say she wasn't that hungry, and you gave everyone even slices. She has eaten all of it. All of it. Not one piece left is gone.
I will say each portion is like a 20-ounce ribeye.
God damn.
Yeah.
You see Lar licking the plate.
Got both of his hands holding each side of the plate, licking it like. And as you guys eat the wyvern meat, Yelar, you don't notice any changes or anything different of gaining any benefits or anything happening to you or anyone else. It just is standard reaction of eating meat. Nothing off happens. Nomu knows not to cut into the poison sac from within the wyvern, which luckily he's not cooking the poison sac or any of the venom within
Nope.
the wyvern. It's straight up muscle. You guys are safe from eating the wyvern. Anything else you'd like to do for the evening?
Nope.
All right. Yelar, you good?
Yeah, he's going to go in a food coma. Got that itis.
Yep. So Relinoa actually does the same. She puts her journal away with her ink and quill, and she just passes out on the chair right then and there. She's got her feet up on a footrest, leaning back. She's got drool coming down the side of her mouth. She gone. True itis. Start snoring a bit, a little bubble coming out of her nose, like Mario from Super Mario RPG.
Damn.
Ow. Ow. But you guys are able to sleep well. You're not disturbed in the middle of the night like before by an earth elemental. Nothing like that happens. So the next day does come, and you all pack your belongings and head back towards the village of Ormsa. Again, it's about a day before you get back. And as you return to Ormsa, it's nighttime. And when you reach the entrance to the village, yet again, you spot the same Orenkin guard that stood there before. As he waves at the three of you, he recognizes the three of you. And the Orenkin raises his head proud, and he looks around. And Nomu, are you like dragging the head along the ground? Is it like strapped to your back? Is it visible for him
He's
to
holding
see it?
he's holding the head on his back, kind of like a backpack, because he has it tied around.
All right. So as you do that, it's fairly visible to the Orenkin as he spots the gigantic apex wyvern's head. You see He raises his chin upwards and he looks at it, and then he looks at the three of you, then directly to you, Nomu, and he places his right hand upwards, balling his to a fist as he slams his right fist onto his left shoulder as if he was honoring and saluting what you have just accomplished. And as he is looking at you, he goes, "Adventurers, you have slain Gralnox! Hoorah! Come, come, the chieftain awaits. Follow me."
Oh yeah, lead the way.
And he turns around as he yells out at another guard off in the distance to take his place at the entrance. He escorts you to the chieftain's house, which you've spoke to him before at the house. And it's nighttime now. It's about 8:30 in the evening. The sun has already begun to go down. It's fairly dark outside, other than the magic lights that are lighting the village streets. But when you get to the chieftain's house, Aggle Stonefist was his name. The guard knocks on the door, and you hear Stonefist just go, "Enter!" And the Ornkin opens the door. "Please, into the chieftain's house." And he welcomes you into the hut, or not the hut, but the house, as the three of you step in, along with the guard. The guard shuts the door behind him as he stands guard at the door. Aggle Stonefist turns around. He's sitting near his fireplace. You see the older Ornkin turn his head as he glances at the three of you and the guard behind you, and he notices Gralnox's head on the back of Nomu. His eyes widen, and he has this grin on his face. As he turns his body, he leans forward. "Adventurers, you've returned with the head of Gralnox as well. Please, come, sit."
All right. He shuffles in, pops, takes the head off his back, and then stretches because that stuff is heavy.
Yeah, it is. Relinoa steps forward and sits down as well. There's a couple of chairs near a table that you guys are able to sit at. And as Stonefist leans forward with this grin on his face, he places his hands together, clasping one to the other. "Ah, you did it. I did not know if you would come back alive, but seeing your prowess against those acolytes of the Eternal Eye, your strength did not fool me. You have proven to the village of Ormsa that you are capable. Please, place the head of Gralnox on the table, and I will give you your reward for a job well done. But before doing so, tell me, how difficult was it slaying this beast?"
Ugh. It was a pain in the ass. To be honest, if it weren't for Relinoa's healing, we'd all be goners.
He places the head next to him.
And he looks over at Relinoa as Relinoa just has this nod. She's folding her arms over her chest as she's just nodding with this giant grin on her face. "Yup, that's right. You can thank the Supreme Goddess for that one." And Stonefish just looks at the head as you place it down on the table. And you can tell Agal Stonefist, who is this older Orenkin chieftain, you see, if you look around the room, I won't make you make any rolls, it's obvious. He has this giant battle axe on the wall. You look around again, he's got some leather armor just lying about. You definitely know that Agal Stonefist, at least in his youth, was at some point a warrior in his time. So he is interested to see how you survive because he too is a warrior at heart. And as he looks at Nomu, then Yelar, then at Relinoa, "You have done Ormsa a great service this day. We can now send our miners back to the mountains to continue the mining operations. Many of our men here at Ormsa, both men and women that took on the mining jobs, have been unable to go there for quite some time, leaving our village without much income. You have saved us quite a bit of trouble, So, as the chieftain of Ormsa, I thank you for what you've done. Everyone here will be happy to hear of Gralnox's demise. A promise is a promise. He turns around. He's sitting near his desk. He's going to open one of the drawers as he pulls out a small bag and he places it on the table next to the head. As promised, 2,000 gold have been scrounged up between all of the villagers and I to reward you for this deed. Tell you the truth, I knew you were strong, but I didn't know if you were strong enough to defeat Gralnox, the apex wyvern. I am pleased to know that no one was killed or harmed in the process. Having a healer with you is always a good thing. We don't have enough of them here in this village. But I am happy no one is hurt. But I am curious. How did you avoid the poisons of the wyvern?
Avoid?
Oh, so you were stung by its stinger then?
Yeah, I say we did. We got the brunt of that.
Speak for yourself. I mean, he did put me down, but I didn't get stung.
So you fell in combat then, Yelar?
Sadly, yes, but
No,
thank
there is no sadly. You fell in the heat of combat. That is the best way to fall. In combat. Doing what you do best. Don't take any form of criticism from others that would call you weak. You are strong in Ormsa's eyes.
Yelar will just nod.
Now, as I've also promised, not only do you have the 2,000 gold to keep amongst yourselves, your reputation here will be heightened quite a bit. The villagers are going to want to celebrate this occasion. Tomorrow, you will find that Ormsa will be celebrating the defeat of Gralnox. I would recommend you stay and join us for the celebrations and the festivities. There will be food, drinks, music, dancing, all sorts of fun. You'll also have tonight and tomorrow night free of charge to sleep at the Rotten Snowball if you'd like. Free rooms.
Yeah,
know.
dude.
And I know I promised a horse. We have scrounged up an extra horse for Relinoa to take. I know you, Nomu, and Yelar had your own, and I heard that you were traveling down south to Manavik, central city of Strider Valley. It is quite a bit of ways from here. Follow straight south on the main road, you'll get there, but it's going to take you some time, and another horse, I think, would be beneficial to the squad. So not only will you get this 2,000 gold, we will give you a horse for Relinoa to ride. Now, it is getting fairly late. I will inform everyone of the village of your accomplishments. You might wake up to a noisy village, but noisy in the terms of happiness and being ready to celebrate. So what have you? Are you trying to leave Ormsa right away, or will you join us on tomorrow's festivities?
Noma's looking around at the group.
What do you think?
I say we party.
He said, I say
expect
we,
that.
we party. Relinoa just looks around. I mean, I do have to get to Wild Run, but it's not like we're gonna get there within the next day or two. So I guess, sticking around for another day is not gonna hurt. I mean, you did say music and stuff. I love music. Can I play some music? I love playing music. And Stonefist looks over at Relinoa. Of course, you'll find that many of our villagers are great at musical instruments, but we'd love to hear the music that you can perform, Relinoa. And with that, he looks over at Mogok, who is the guard standing behind you. Mogok, please inform the villagers of what has transpired here this night. For tomorrow, Ormsa celebrates. You may leave me with our adventurers here. I trust them well enough. And Mogok just nods, yes, sir. He turns around, leaves the three of you with Stonefist alone. And at that point, Stonefist looks at the three of you. As I've mentioned, you'll be able to stay at the inns for free tonight and tomorrow. Anything after that, unfortunately, we'll have to charge you just because I do not own the businesses of my villages, and they do have to make money. But for tonight and tomorrow, you are well taken care of. Food, drinks, and a place to stay. And before you do leave, I did want to speak to you about the prisoner that we held in the jail. You remember you left one of those acolytes alive, of the Eternal Eye.
Yes.
We still have him in his cell. He hasn't said much since. I was worried that maybe his benefactors or possibly his allies would come in and try to break him free, but none of the gods have spotted anything of the sorts. I think the Eternal Eye has left this acolyte to his demise. But, as we know, they were after you for some reason, Relinoa. If you would like to speak with this prisoner sometime tomorrow, be my guest. Rough him up if you'd please. Not sure what we're going to do with him just yet, but I'm sure you're curious to why he and his allies were after you. I know I am. It's not very often that an organization sends its goons to kidnap an adventurer out of a town, such as Ormsa, in the middle of Strider Valley. So, you are more than welcome to ask the god or the prisoner questions if you would like tomorrow after the celebration. Relinoa nods. I mean, that's a good idea. Maybe I will. Thank you. And then with that, he leans back into his chair, and you see he reaches for this wooden pipe, and he begins to place some leaves into the pipe, and then he sets it on fire, and he begins to smoke from it. As I've said, I am pleased with the results, and you have done my village a service. You have my utmost gratitude. But you are free to go. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. We will never forget this deed you've done for us this day.
No problem. Oh, and if you find any more wyverns, please let Nomu know.
Well,
For science.
You'll find plenty of wyverns here in Strider Valley. I mean, Strider Valley is where wyverns are typically located here on Tyrister. Now, you'll find a occasional wyvern here and there throughout the land of Tyrister, but Strider Valley is known for wyverns and giants. So, I'm sure you'll spot a couple on your way to Manavik.
Interesting. Good.
By the way, 2,000 gold split between 3 people is apparently 666.
Damn! I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
Yep. There it is.
So there you go, 666 between the
Yep.
three of you. So go ahead and add that gold to your income there, or Yelar can just give his portion straight up to Nomu if he wants.
Nah, he can keep it for now.
How much was that total that he owed you?
1,125.
Okay.
So with that, then, do you all leave for the evening? Do you leave Stonefist, or is there anything you want to ask him?
Yelar will ask about an ID from the Adventurers Guild since he hasn't gotten one yet.
Smart.
Okay. How do you?
Because he
ask
doesn't
him?
want.
I do have a question. If someone should say lost their ID to cross borders, how would they go about getting another one?
I'm assuming you were stopped at the border of Londe going into Strider Valley, or Ossia, I should say.
Yes.
I'm assuming you speak of an Adventurers Guild ID of some kind.
I think so. Whatever ID the people, so you can cross borders easily.
Well, typically, adventurers that are part of the Adventurers Guild, as far as I know, will have IDs. Merchants will have their own particular set of IDs. And then obviously your nobles will have their own type of IDs as well. All several forms of identification. Personally, the easiest one to possibly get would be Adventurers Guild ID, because you get one as soon as you join the guild. Unfortunately, we do not have an Adventurers Guild here in Ormsa. We're too small of a village. However, there is one in Ossia, but it's not in Manavit. It will take you some time to get there, but there is a guild in Ossia you can get to once you reach the Great Forests.
Well, I thank you for the information.
Of course. Now, I know Oak Falls, near Lake Serenity, is a central city here in Ossia, northwest of Rava's Grove. I don't know exactly where you're headed, but I did hear Relinoa say she's headed to Wild Run. Wild Run is to the south of Strider Valley, right alongside the borders of Strider Valley. Again, once you pass Strider Valley, you won't be able to miss Wild Run. But from Wild Run, you head west, straight to Oak Falls, where Lake Serenity lies. Can't miss it. Oak Falls does have an Adventurers Guild, but be very mindful if you are traveling from Wild Run to Oak Falls. There is a place near the mountains along the edge of Strider Valley called Caverns of the Lost. Avoid that place at all costs, for those that enter never return, hence the name Caverns of the Lost.
Caverns of the Lost.
Yup. Do not go there. He is
Mhm.
warning you. Warning you.
All right, noted.
Now I want to go there.
I don't.
Don't forget, you are level 7, but level 7 is nothing compared to level 20s.
Oh! Yeah, let's just go ahead and avoid that.
Caverns of Lost, well, you might not have to be level 20 to get there, but it's high level. It is a dangerous place. I will tell you that right now.
Gotta be level 20 to get out of there.
Most likely, yes.
Mhm.
So, but he looks at you, yeah, and tells you that's exactly where you would go to get an identification. At least that's the closest place he can think of, unless you become a merchant of some kind. But again, that's all he can tell you. I mean, Ormsa is a tiny village on the north end of Strider Valley, which is closest to Londe's border. So he doesn't know much else of where you could get that other than Oak Falls.
Well, I thank you there, sir.
Of course. Anything else I can help you with? I may have an answer to your questions, depending on what it is.
Nope.
Very good. Well, the three of you please enjoy your evening, and I will see you tomorrow during the celebrations and the festivities.
He shuffled out.
All right. With the three of you leaving, you end up going to the Rotten Snowball to eat some food, get some rest, and tomorrow you are awoken by music. The festivities have begun early. When you guys step out of the inn, you find there are people along the streets setting up some decorations and having a fun time as if it was a holiday of some kind. And merchants are having their stalls set up outside as people are having fun. Music is playing, people are dancing, food is spread out all over the place. Everyone's just having a grand old time. What do the three of you do?
Figure out what the food is.
All right. So you go, and there are several stalls of vendors that have different types of meats, different types of foods. You have, the bartender from the Rotten Snowball that served you giraffe milk. He's out there with barrels of alcohol, serving different types of booze and whatnot. These Orenkin here in the village, they know how to party. It's early in the morning. They're already drinking.
Damn.
It's
Getting it in.
I'm gonna say it's about 8 in the morning.
Damn.
They're partying hard.
Just past crack of dawn, man.
Yup. Mogok went last night to every house, knocked on the door. It's party time. It's party time. It's party time. Party time.
Sounds like my kind of village.
And again, most of them are Orankin, so most of the people here are half giant. But you do see, you know, there are other races here and there, but nothing. You don't really see very many Dakina, which is the cat folk like Nomu. Not a lot of Shalonians like Yelar. There is, you know, every now and then there's a human or even an elf or a half elf, but for the most part, it is generally Orankin, half giants.
Mm-hmm.
But as you go to look for food, Nomu, there's several places for food. You do notice, you know, there are vendors with different types of meats that are hanging off of the stalls, and they are grilling them right then and there as if they were like food trucks, basically.
He's looking for the one that catches his eye, the culinary art type stuff.
Oh,
Something he ain't never seen before.
You're looking for the culinary art.
Yep.
All right. Well, make me a investigation check.
All right.
18.
Ooh.
You look around, most of the stalls look to be fairly common, like, you know, common meats. You have your steaks, you have your burgers. There is also, you do spot the side of your eye, a group of Orankin that are eating hot fish. They are selling hot fish as if it's the hot fish extravaganza. You also notice there is a group of Orankin who are practicing for the hot fishing extravaganza, and they are slamming some of those rice ball filled fish, or filled rice ball with filled fish in them.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you do happen to spot, though, with an 18, along the side, kind of standing by itself, there is an Orankin who has this white apron on, chef's hat. He's got this giant butcher knife in his hand, this cleaver, but he is delicately cutting into some meat, and hanging off one of the shelves in his stall, you notice he's got a giant shark as he's cutting to some other types of meat. He stands out the most out of everyone else.
Oh, that's the one I want to see. That's him.
That's him.
Yep.
So you go to him. What's Yelar doing?
Yelar is just mingling around the crowd, just checking things out. Since he's never really been to a festival or party of some sort, at least up in anywhere other than the swamps.
Okay. So as you walk around to mingle, you know, Nomu heads towards the fancy looking chef, and Relinoa, she steps out and she begins to mingle a bit too. And she is loving the music. And eventually you see she ends up pulling out her lute. Remember, she played her lute for you guys one evening, and you were astounded by her skills and the tune she was able to play. It was peaceful, beautiful, and it allowed you to rest well. But this time around, she has changed her tune. She now has a group of people that were dancing and playing music who have stopped to listen to her music. And she is playing a much more upbeat, exciting, bar-like tune with her lute that has actually gotten some of the residents excited. They're having fun. And she seems to be having fun. She loves to play music or in her instrument. And you can definitely see that in her expression. But Noma, we'll start with you. You get to the stall, the chef, and he slowly looks up at you as you see he's cutting thin slices of meat, very thin slices of meat from this chunk that's on the table. As you look up, there is this gigantic shark hanging from his stall, and he smiles. Welcome, adventurer. I have heard from Mogok of your accomplishments of slaying the great apex wyvern, Gralnox. Have you come to try some of my food?
Oh, yeah. I see that apron. And it seems that you know what you're doing.
Yes, I have studied in the ways of culinary arts since I was a child. Not very many of us here in Ormsa are well versed in the art of culinary skills. I have traveled from Lande to Asya, even to Virabaldor, home of the dwarves, and even parts of Zogun. And if you know of the famous town Galakron's End, I've learned a thing or two from Mama Cleo.
Oh, I've heard of Mama Theo.
Oh, yes, she is amazing with her culinary schools, particularly steam buns. Goblins love the steam buns. So yes, I have ventured throughout Tyrester, and I have learned a thing or two. What would you like?
What is your special?
Today's special, for it is a prime occasion. The shark that is hanging above here, as you know, we are nowhere near Gale 4C or Edoris Sea. The ocean is far from us, but I was able to procure this shark not too long ago during my travels. I had kept it frozen to make sure that it wouldn't decay, hoping to serve it on a special occasion such as today. Luckily, with the magics that we have, it's still as fresh as it was when we caught it. Would you like to try some shark?
Oh, absolutely. I think this is a sort of revenge, since I can't exactly get my hands on a land shark.
Oh, you have seen or did battle with a land shark.
I've been eaten by a land shark several times
Oh, well.
in the same fight.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're still up and alive and not dead. Those land sharks are no joke. Luckily for you, this is not a land shark, it's a sea shark. Strictly got it from the west in Drotten Bay, near Virabaldor, on the coast of Asya, near Sagewood. This shark is prime. Not a great white. We call it the Drotten shark from Drotten Bay. Not as terrifying as the great white, but close enough. As you can see at the sheer size of this, it is an apex predator in the seas of Drotten Bay. Now, may not be as big as a great white, but it can contend with a great white. And I promise you, it is oh so tender when cooked correctly. I will have you wanting more after your first bite. Now, considering you've done my village a service, how about I give you a free appetizer taste of what this Drotten shark can be like? Would you like a taste before you order it?
He's nodding up and down, smiling.
Do you prefer it cooked, or do you like some of it raw, like sushi?
Sashimi style first.
You see, he nods, he twirls that blade in his hand around as he quickly grabs onto one end of the shark above, and he just slams the knife up against it, cutting basically 1/4 of the shark apart as he pulls on the tail, slamming it down onto the table, and he begins to delicately cut into the shark, quickly grabbing some other ingredients, and he grabs other seasonings, and he begins to wrap it up in a rice-like ball, and then he puts it on a small plate, and he has some salt, some pepper, he's got some oregano on there, and he just continues to add random things.
Mhm.
And then he hands it to you. It's about the size, half the size of your hand. Pretty decent
Jeez.
portion. Bon appetit. Please tell me what you think. Oh, I almost forgot. He takes a small little bowl and he pours the sauce into it. It's my secret. I can't tell you what it is. Tell me how you like it with the sauce and without. Try it without the sauce first and then try it with the sauce. Dip it in.
You see a twinkle in his eye as he takes the first bite.
Oh my goodness. By Bastet.
It
By all the
is
gods.
absolutely delicious without the sauce. But I rolled an 18 on my survival for it. So it is incredibly delicious without sauce. With the sauce, it adds a +5 to that 18.
Damn. See him kind of float off the seat like he's from Scooby Doo.
Damn. He smiles at you. Seems you like a rotten shark then. Would you like a full plate?
Yes, please.
Very well. He begins to cook you up a full plate.
He
some
drops gold
sides.
on the table ahead of time.
He looks at you and raises his hand. No gold is required on the house. He said, and he hands you the plates. Bon appetit, my friend. Thank you for what you've done for my village. You have definitely helped save the miners in town. We appreciate the service you've done for us.
And thank you for this meal.
Of course, you are more than welcome. Please enjoy the meal and enjoy the rest of the festivities here today. It is a great occasion.
He walks back, trying to find his group.
Meanwhile, as you walk back, you're looking around. You see Yelar. He's mingling, walking around. Yelar, you start smelling the delicious morning brews of 15 different types of coffee. There is a coffee stand. Do you go towards it?
He definitely will.
As you walk towards it, you see there's another Orenkin. She is bagging up some ground coffee beans. There are several different jars with different types of coffee beans. And she looks up at you and she smiles. Oh, welcome, adventurer. Here for some coffee. I know most of our villagers here, residents, are drinking away at the alcohol, but there's those that enjoy a nice cup of coffee in the morning. Keep us energized so we can drink alcohol for the rest of the day into the evening. What would you like?
Wow, there's so many choices here. I've never known there's just so much coffee.
Oh, we have 15 different kinds of coffee.
What's your most special type?
Well, our most special type, obviously, is going to be a coffee bean that is only found in Strider Valley. We call it the Strider coffee bean. Have you had Strider coffee before?
I have not.
Would you like to try some?
Please.
With plain black, or would you prefer it with sugar and cream?
Wait, you can get sugar and cream with your coffee?
Of course.
Damn.
You know what? I'm feeling a little adventurous. I'll try it with some cream and sugar, please.
Of course. She quickly pours you a nice warm cup of Strider coffee, and she puts a tiny bit, a pinch of sugar, not much. And then you see she adds some milk, and she smiles. This is a special milk I was able to procure from the rotten snowball. Giraffe milk. Please tell me how it tastes.
Huh? He'll take a drink.
As you taste the Strider coffee, it is sweet. From most of what you know about Strider Valley, it is a deadly place filled with giants, wyverns, orenkin, plenty of beasts. Not a place where you would imagine to serve sweet coffee. But it's not the overbearing sweet, no. It is the subtle yet delicious type of sweet that just seeps over your tongue, goes down smoothly, and it's just enough that makes you wanting to take another sip. It is not like any of the coffee you've had before, Yelar. It is delicious.
Oh my. This is oh wow.
It is considered a high medium coffee bean. So it's not a full heavy dark coffee, but it's not light by any means. It's on the higher end of medium going into dark roast.
Okay.
I must buy at least a bag of your beans.
You would like a bag of Strider Valley? Coffee
Please.
beans. Oh,
Yes.
all right. Well, let's see. How big of a bag would you like? We have a couple different sizes. I can sell you a small bag for a gold. I can sell you a medium bag for 3 gold and a large bag for 5.
I'll take your large bag, please.
All right, 5 gold, please.
Spoiling them.
And Yelar, as she hands you a large bag of the Strider coffee beans, she smiles. Thank you so much for your business.
I'll also take another cup.
Oh, you finished it already.
Yes.
Very well, I'll pour you another cup then. She pours you another cup of it with the cream and sugar.
Not so much of the cream, just a little bit of sugar.
All right then. She hands it to you. And do you do anything else there, Yelar? Do you look around or do anything else?
Oh, with the music starting to play, you kind of see him kind of swaying, dancing a little bit.
Okay. Okay. You notice Nomu walking around with a giant plate of Drotten shark. Do you go up to him?
Yeah.
All right.
Nomu, what you got there?
You must try this. You must. Rotten shark, made
Oh.
by a chef.
A what shark?
Drotten, from Drotten Sea.
Uh,
This man has learned how to cook from Mama Cleo.
Let's see if he knows who Mama Clea.
Make me a history check. I know Robert knows who Mama Cleo is. That's 6 history. Unfortunately, you have no clue who Mama Cleo is.
who's Mama Cleo?
Never mind that.
He stuffs the food in his face.
Here, try.
Well, you don't need to be so overbearing there. Who's Mama Cleo?
A prize chef who cooks for goblins.
He will try a bite.
It is delicate and delicious.
Wait, this is fish? I didn't know fish could taste so good. Nothing like in the marshes. Where's this place at?
Right over there.
He points
I
at the big chef with the apron, the chef hat, twirling a knife.
Yelar's rushing over there now.
As Yelar rushes to the same chef, Nomu, you feel a pat on your shoulder coming from a pretty large hand, and it's the Orenkin Stone Fist, the chieftain.
Mm-hmm.
And he stands over you because, again, he's half giant. But he looks at you and he smiles. Ha! Good morning, Nomu. Are you enjoying the festivities so far of Ormsa?
Oh, chieftain, I'm loving it.
Good. We know how to party it up here in Ormsa. We have good times when, with a proper occasion presents itself. I couldn't happen to notice, though. I meant to ask you last night. If you don't mind me asking, from one old warrior to another warrior, such as yourself, I've noticed you have a pristine, well-crafted greatsword. Where were you able to procure such a fascinating and beautiful blade?
Good God, where the hell did I get the righteous greatsword?
You got it from the hot fishing extravaganza as one of the prizes.
Oh yeah.
Yep, the righteous greatsword. You won it from Sea of Opportunities.
Well, there was another Dakina named Sea of Opportunities. And, well, I got it from him.
Oh, is that right? Well, was he the craftsman of this fascinating blade?
Absolutely not.
Oh, well, whoever crafted this thing, I'm sure they left some sort of, marking. Typically, a blacksmith of sorts leaves their initials of some kind or a way to identify that it is their work. Do you mind if I take a look at this beautiful blade?
Ah, there would be a maker's mark.
He unsheathes it and hands it over so he can look at it.
He takes it in both of his hands and he looks down at it. Such a beautiful blade. I know, I can see you've used it quite a bit. It could use some tuning up. Do you have a stone by any chance to sharpen your blade, a whetstone?
On me? No.
Is that something you would need? I can tell here, and he points out, not to be that person, but you are leaving to go on more adventuring in the Strata Valley. I've noticed there's a nick here, there, and here. You don't want the greatsword to be too dull, now, do you? Would you like one of my blacksmiths in town to sharpen your blade, to prepare you for your adventure to Manavik?
Yes, I lost my whetstone on the way to Starter Valley.
We can have that done. The blacksmith here is not too far on the southern end of town. He is currently not celebrating. He's a quiet one. But tell him that you spoke with me, and I'm sure he'll be able to provide you with a free whetstone. He might charge you, actually. It won't be that much. But you can get another whetstone, and he can sharpen this blade for you before you leave.
Fine by me.
How are you liking that? It looks like you have a Drotten shark in your plate.
I don't know where you got that chef, but you can go to war for something like him.
Oh, it's that good. I'm happy to hear that. Ormsa does have its diamonds every now and then. Now, I don't know if I'd want to go to war with anyone or my own villagers. You know, we are a peaceful bunch here. Luckily, Tirister is not filled with war, other than, you know, the Azurian Brotherhood protecting us from the decaying wastes. But other than that, I am happy to know that there isn't really war here in Tirister. Well, I just wanted to take a look at your blade because it is a beautiful one. It'd be a shame for it to continue to grow duller. And as I'm expecting this thing, it does look like it does have initials on the blade here. At the very bottom near the hilt. Do you see the initials here?
Aye. Whose is it?
Looks like it is a VR. Not sure who that might be. Might want to ask around. A VR. Not very sure who that could be. But definitely find out who made this blade, because it is a beautiful one. A crafter. Whoever crafted this, I'd like them to craft me a battle axe for my son. Well, anyways, please continue enjoying the festivities. It looks like your friends are doing so, especially Relinoa over there. She is playing more than one instrument right now. And you can see, if you look over, she was playing her lute, but now she has this tambourine in one hand, and as she's playing the tambourine, she drops it and picks up a violin, starts playing a violin. She's going ham with all the different instruments, and each instrument sounds amazing. But the name of the blacksmith that crafted your blade, Nomu, just for your own notes, the VR stands for Vadruk Redmaw. He is a dwarf from Virboldor. Vadruk Redmaw.
All right.
So
You got it.
I mean, you don't know the name yet, but you have his initials, VR.
Yep.
Redmaw's blade. So, but with that, the chieftain turns around. Well, I'll allow you to continue having your fun with the festivities. Please enjoy. And considering you did, and you do enjoy the Drotten shark, there are some of my residents over there eating some hot fish, preparing themselves for the next hot fish extravaganza. You might want to try and partake into that. But for now, I too am going to enjoy the festivities. Take care, Nomu.
Have a good one.
He gives your blade back and he walks off into the distance to enjoy the festivities with other residents. And as time continues, Yelar, you're able to get some of that delicious Drotten shark, and you're able to find your way back to Nomu if that's what you do. And, you know, there are others that would like to eat with you as they sit and eat and dine with you as everyone's having a good time. And a couple hours do pass, and eventually Relinoa stops playing the instruments. She puts her lute away. The violin and the tambourines she had weren't hers. She was just borrowing those from some other residents of the village. But eventually she stops playing. She has a good time. And as the two of you are conversing with some of the residents, she is going to walk off to go towards the jail cells. She wants to question the acolyte of the Eternal Eye. She doesn't come to you guys to tell you that's where she's going. That is where she's going. She's not being sneaky about it. She's just walking off in the distance. If either one of you want to make a perception to see if you notice her leaving, that's up to you.
Yeah,
Again,
Yelar will do
she's
that.
not trying to be sneaky about it, but there is a lot going on, so you may not see her walk off.
Yeah. Let me go ahead. And roll
Oh,
my
20,
perception.
nat 20.
All right, Yelar with a 22 and Nomu with a 19. As the two of you are eating your food, having a good time, you're talking with other villagers. You both do notice Relinoa is walking off to the side to herself. You see she's speaking to one of the guards, and he points in a direction, and she nods and walks off by herself to go towards the jail. You don't know that's where she's going, but you do notice her talk to a guard and then walk off. Do either one of you attempt to follow or do anything, and do you kind of leave her to her own devices?
Yelar actually will follow. She's ever since that that incident, he doesn't really want to leave her by herself.
Yeah, same. He's gonna do the same.
Okay. So after you guys notice her walk off, do you try and sneak so she doesn't notice you? Or do you
Nope.
keep a distance?
I'm just walking normally, eating.
You still got your
Pretty much
plate
the
in hand?
same. Yeah.
All right. So as you follow her, she walks to the east part of the village where there's still people on the streets celebrating near the jail. It's not like it's by itself with no music or anything. And the village isn't that big. But you follow her. She doesn't notice you due to the music, and she's not really worried if people follow her. You are in the streets of Ormsa, where for the most part it's safe. But she eventually stops at a building, a smaller building. You can see there's a guard standing outside of it, and she speaks to the guard. You can't hear it. I'm assuming you're not right next to her, so she doesn't know you're there. But you can see her speaking to the guard, and the guard lets her in, and she steps into the building. The guard shutting the door behind her. And then as you both get to the building, the guard looks at you. Hail! How can I help you two?
I was wondering if you could tell me where what this building is.
Oh, this one here behind me. I'm guarding it. It's the jail here in Ormsa. You have business here?
Well, I don't, but the person Relinoa, the person you just let in, I'm assuming she does.
Yes, the chieftain, Stonefist. He had told me that she may be coming to question the prisoner that we have inside from the other night, the acolyte or the crazy religious kook. He's held up in a cell, and your friend just requested to speak with him. There's another guard inside, so you fret not. You don't have to worry about her being alone. But also, do not worry. He is well chained in the cell. He won't be doing anyone any harm anytime soon.
So she doesn't need bodyguards?
There is a guard inside. She should be fine. Unless you want to enter yourselves. I mean, I was given only her name that might be asking questions, not yours. But I do know you're part of the same party. If you want in, I'll let you in. I mean, I don't see the chieftain being upset about it, but I don't.
Yeah, I kind of want to know why he was after her.
Oh, it's up to you.
Yeah.
He looks at you, Lara. What about you? You wait out here.
Yeah, I'm curious myself.
All right. So he opens the door. All right, right in. Get in there.
Mhm.
I have to shut the door behind you, though. I can't allow any others in here.
Understandable.
As you both enter, it's not that big of a building, but it's big enough to where you don't see Relinoa at all. There is a desk inside next to this steel gate that's locked, and at the desk there's a guard sitting down. He's got this giant great club on the table. He's another Orankin as he's sitting there. there is this steel door behind him that's barred, so you can see through it. But it leads into a corridor that turns left or right into the prison area. The jail is big enough to prison, probably about 10 people, about 10 different cells. But the guard looks up at you. Oi! What's up?
Oh, we were just checking on our friend Relinoa.
Oh, you talk about the half-elf girl that just came through here. Well, she's questioning one of the prisoners right now. He's down the corridor to the right. Can't really see him at this point, but if anything happens, we're right here. She should be fine.
I was wondering if we can go inside.
Oh, you want to go question the prisoner too?
Oh,
More like listen in.
He looks over at Nomu. Oh, you want to listen in? I'm assuming she doesn't want you there then.
I got questions for him.
Oh, wow, well. I don't care. Well, first off, what are your names?
No more the monsters.
I'm Yelar.
No. All right, well, I'll let the two of you in because I know you're part of her party. She did say not to let anyone interrupt, so you might want to sneak in there. It's not none of my business if you're listening in on our conversations. Totally up to you. I don't give a damn. But prisoner is to stay in his cell. If I find either one of you attempting to break him free, I will have to perform my duties as guard.
Why would you want them free?
I don't know.
I mean, what if he? Well, never mind. I shouldn't really do that. I'm not going to free him or anything, but what if he accidentally tries to get free and we might end up,
Well, I will tell you this. He's got a chain around his ankle that's connected to the wall, which is stone. That guy ain't getting anywhere. Between him and us, there's also another door to his cell. He ain't getting out without the keys. I'll just say that.
Oh, so he won't
He puts his hands in quotation marks.
slip and fall and hurt his neck.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a possibility. I'm not supposed to allow you to kill the prisoner. He's to be left alive for now.
Well, I
Don't.
promise I won't eat him.
Well, you won't be getting into that cell anyways. I'm forbidden from giving you the keys. I'll let you in there to talk to him, but you can't get into the same cell as him. You can talk to him through the bars.
Oh, noted.
Mhm.
All right. Well, he unlocks the door that's behind him. They're just like the cell doors. And he lets you in. There's a long corridor. And then to the right of the corner of the corridor is where Relinoa is talking to this prisoner, this acolyte. Do you both kind of... Oh, I see already a stealth. Nomu's stealth with an 18. She does not hear you coming around the corner to listen in. And Yelar with a 17 stealth. She definitely doesn't hear either one of you. Now, she's not far from the corridor. As soon as you turn right around the corner, she's literally right there. So it's very easy to hear her conversation. But I'm assuming with your 2 stealths, you're staying around the corner where you're not being spotted, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, as 2 of you sneak up with an 18 and 17 stealth, she is unaware. But I will go ahead and read off here, or I say role play here with myself, with exactly what you are listening in on. So, as the 2 of you come around the corner, this is what you hear. Remember, you had only left one of the acolytes alive during that fight. The paladin was killed. The 4 acolytes were also killed. Only one acolyte survived, and that is the acolyte she is currently talking to. But what you do here is the acolyte speaks up. Relinoa steps forward towards the door of the jail or the cell. Again, there's bars between her and the prisoner. He's got this thick-ass chain that's connected to the wall that is wrapped around his ankle. He is not getting anywhere. He is unequipped. He's only wearing his clothing that was under his armor, and he's just sitting there. But as Relinoa steps forward, looking down at him as she stands, he looks up, and he just gives this slight grin up at her. He doesn't have his hood anymore. Remember, they looked all shady as fuck with masks and everything. He doesn't have that. She can see his face now. He's just a human that's just sitting there. But he grins as he looks up. And he speaks up as she sees him. Well, this is my punishment for failing my holy mission. To be looked down upon by the abomination itself. Please forgive my failures, almighty gods and goddesses. Do not allow this abomination to devour my holy soul. And you see, or you hear this, and she's just looking down at him. Well, I mean, that isn't a very welcoming thing to say. It's not a good way to say hello to the person you attempted to kidnap. Your allies were slain, or have been slain, due to the choices they made. Not really the best choices to make, but, I do know that you follow an order known as the Eternal Eye. Could you please maybe tell me why you were sent to find me? Pretty please? With the cherry on top. Acolyte just spits to the side. You shall not pry any answers from me, abomination. You are a disgrace to Tirister, one that follows the god that is not of this land, a heretic born to create chaos amongst Tirister's population, a fiend with the sole purpose of bringing disorder. May my brothers and sisters find you so that they can swiftly deliver divine judgment upon you. You and your friends totally have the wrong idea about me. Like, seriously, I am no abomination. Although, some do call me a heretic. I mean, I know I speak to myself. It's kind of weird sometimes to those that can't hear the goddess supreme. But I'm not that much different from you guys, I am not the fiend you believe me to be. I'm just a person that's just living her life, doing her thing. I do follow the one true goddess supreme, She alone guides me in my path. I was once an acolyte of the Octadic Divines, actually. I didn't know if you knew that. But my true calling was to serve the goddess supreme. And that's what I'm doing. There is nothing more and nothing less to me than this. I do not wish to bring you or anyone else any harm, if that's what you think. I mean, I think the Eternal Eye follows the Octadic Divine as well as the Heptatic Evils. Tell me, how hard is that? To follow a bunch of good gods and neutral gods, but then also follow the evil ones. Isn't there a bit of, resentment between the two groups? Isn't that bit of a difficult concept to follow? And he just ignores her question. He just screams out, "Lies! Just as I told you. You attempt to charm me with your words, fiend. You will never convince me otherwise. Your goddess supreme is no true god." Ugh, why are you so stubborn, man? What will it take for me to convince you? What? Wait a minute. Oh, I know. Allow me to introduce you to the goddess supreme herself. Well, I mean, that's if she answers me. She doesn't always answer me. Sometimes she just ignores me. But it is what it is. And nobody ever hears her speak either but me, so that might not be very helpful. But I can attempt to summon her, so you can actually talk to her, maybe, if she allows it. So I guess I can understand why you and others might call me a little crazy, but I'm not lying. I swear, I'm not bad. Let me call upon her now. And she begins to place both her hands together as she casts a spell. And as she does so, you guys can see this golden aura flickering around the corner into the corridor that you guys are in. And because, the jail doesn't have windows. It's fairly dark in the jail, other than some torches that are up. We're not having any windows. You don't have any sunlight coming through. The only window in the jail is where the guard at the entrance was sitting. So you have some sunlight coming from behind you into the corridor, but that's it. But as she casts the spell, this golden aura appears. And what she is doing is attempting to manifest an illusion of some kind or a form of the goddess. But as she has her hands together, the acolyte just looks up at her, shaking his head, still thinking she's an abomination. And she closes her eyes as she continues to cast the spell. And as she finishes chanting, she opens one eye to see if the goddess supreme has answered her calls. There's no change, no sign of anything. And she just looks around with one eye open.
Well, shoot, she didn't answer. Give me one moment. Let me try again. Sometimes she just doesn't answer the first time. She's extremely busy goddess after all. Ahem. Goddess Supreme, please hear my call. I seek your guidance in order to help convince this man of the eternal eye that you are real and that I am no abomination. She places her hands back together, attempting to call her again. And after a few seconds, a perfect illusion will slowly begin to appear mid-air in front of her and the acolyte. It is next to her outside of the cell. But this is what we call perfect illusion. It looks and feels, well, it looks real and sounds real. You wouldn't be able to tell that it was an illusion at all. But as the illusion appears, gazing upon the golden light of the illusion, the acolyte looks up. And he looks confused. What he sees is a figure that looks exactly like Relinoa. No differences. The only major difference, well, I should say, there is one difference. And the only difference is this illusion is surrounded by a golden aura, but it looks just like Relinoa. Red hair, blue eyes, half-elven ears to the T. It's not a full body illusion. It's floating in the air, and it's mostly just shoulders up. But the illusion's face moves from side to side as it looks down at Relinoa, then at the acolyte, and you can hear the illusion speak. It sounds just like Relinoa, but it's not her talking. You have disturbed me from important matters. Why have you called upon me? It is rude and ill-mannered to call upon a goddess a second time after she has declined the first summoning. You do know this, don't you, Relinoa? And when the illusion speaks, I did mention you guys probably heard it, but actually nobody hears it. The only person that hears it is Relinoa. After a moment of silence, Relinoa speaks up. Goddess Supreme, yeah, you did answer. Please forgive my intrusion, but I'm in quite a pickle. I'm trying to convince this acolyte of the eternal eye that I'm not an abomination and that you are actually real. Your guidance would be most welcome at this time. And then she looks at the acolyte as she points at the acolyte with both hands, both index fingers. That guy right there. He doesn't believe me. He doesn't believe us. Please convince him. Goddess Supreme. The illusion turns and looks at the acolyte, and it immediately gives a face of disapproval and disgust. And then she looks at the acolyte. Relinoa does. You see? The Goddess Supreme is real. She's real. It's not me. I know she looks like me, but it's not me. I promise you, it's not me. It's not an illusion spell where I'm pretending to be someone else. It is actually the Goddess Supreme herself. The acolyte, seeing the illusion, not able to hear it, he looks furious. Abomination! You are crazier than they said! You are fucking insane! A nutcase! May the gods have mercy on my soul. Please give me the strength to endure this punishment. He basically thinks that Relinoa was playing games with him. I mean, it's an illusion of herself. And as he screams this out, Nomu and Yelar, what are you both doing?
Staring. Doesn't know what to think.
Yelar's going to try to peek around the corner.
Make me another stealth.
Nat 20.
Damn! That's another nat 20 on your stealth. You did that on your perception earlier.
Yeah.
So with the 22, you peek around the corner. You see this golden aura illusion floating in midair. You can see the back of it. This red hair flowing past its shoulders. But that's as far as you see. It's just shoulders up, this illusion. You see Relinoa and the illusion looking at the acolyte, and Relinoa is talking to both the acolyte and the illusion, but you don't hear the illusion speaking. You see the illusion looking back and forth as if it was having a conversation with Relinoa, but the acolyte looks fucking freaked out. He is terrified. He thinks she's crazy. He is now praying to the Octadic Divine and the Heptatic Evils to protect him from what he calls an abomination. He is scrawled up against the wall, kind of shaken in fear.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what she's going to do.
Scared him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do, Yelar? And as you look upon the illusion, when it turns at one moment, it doesn't spot you, but you see again, it looks just like Relinoa.
He's gonna stay there and just watch quietly.
Okay. Well, eventually, you see the illusion turns around and it just speaks to Relinoa. Dear child, this acolyte of the Eternal Eye means nothing to us. You may do as you please, attempt to try and convince him otherwise, but you have wasted my time. I have other important matters to attend to, so if you would excuse me, I must be leaving. Do not summon me again for such a thing as this. And the illusion vanishes. And Relinoa just leans over. She's hunched over now. She just lets out a sigh. Oh, Goddess Supreme wasn't very helpful that time around. Really sorry about that, Mr. Acolyte, man. I was hoping she would talk to you. You couldn't really hear her, though. Could you hear her? Could you hear her? And
Yeah.
Acolyte just looks up. What are you talking about, you crazed wench? You were just talking to yourself. That was an illusion of yourself. You are a fiend. Oh, the Octatic evils and the Octatic divines will punish you. And she just lets out another sigh. Oh, I don't like doing this, man, but you're making me try and do something I don't want to do. Okay. You know what? You're not very friendly right now. I want to talk to someone who's friendly. And she begins to cast a spell. She casts Charm Person. And you can see she charms the Acolyte. And the Acolyte slowly begins to calm down. Ah, see? Not that hard now, is it? I'm friendly. I'm not your enemy, although for some reason your friends think I'm your enemy. But I'm not here to hurt you. I just need you to tell me why they're after me, pretty please. Again, with a cherry on top. The Acolyte, now that he's charmed, he looks up. My friend, I don't know why they're after you. All they told me was to make sure that to bring you back. That's all I know. They told me nothing more, nothing less. She lets out another sigh. Oh, so you're just a henchman. I should have known. She's scratching her head. All right, well, I guess there's nothing else I can ask of you. She snaps her fingers, and he is no longer charmed, and he looks up at her. How dare you use your charming magic on me, you wench! Ah, shut up. There wasn't anything harmful. Jeez, calm down.
Mhm.
Well, you're not much help to me, so I guess I gotta get going. See, you made me angry, the Goddess Supreme. See, you should just believe me from the get-go. Now, I have to say sorry to the Goddess Supreme. You've made this day harder. Well, anyways, hope you rot in here, you stupid acolyte. And she turns around to begin to walk back. Yelar, at this point, do you turn around the corner to hide?
Yeah.
All right. As she begins to walk towards you guys, what do you guys do? You can hear her walking. Do you try and like retreat out of the corridor back towards the guard? Or
Nope. Just gonna sit there and wait for her to pass by.
Yelar, since she said she didn't want anyone to overhear, he's gonna head out.
Okay. So you make your way back toward the guard who lets you out, and Nomu, you just stand there?
Yep.
All right. She turns the corner and she looks up at you a little bit surprised. She didn't hear you or know you were there. Oh, hey, Nomu, what's up? Did you hear any of that? What are you doing here?
I came down to see the guard, see the acolyte.
I tried to question him. He wasn't very helpful. If you want to try questioning him, he's over there, but he's like shaking with fear. I don't know why he's scared of me. I didn't do anything. But you could go talk to him if you want. Did you by any chance hear what I was saying?
Hear what?
Oh, so you just got here?
Yes.
Make me make me a deception check, please. 15 deception. She goes, okay, 15's good. Oh, she believes you. Oh, okay, well, all right, well, he's back there. He's not. I tried to call the Goddess Supreme, actually, and he wouldn't believe me. As everyone else. What a shame.
Well, if it
Anyways.
ain't gonna work for you, I ain't going in there.
Oh, I thought maybe you'd try and rough him up a bit.
Should I?
I mean, I did charm him, so he was on my side for a moment, but he told me that he didn't know anything. He was just a lackey, so not anyone important. So I don't think there's much he can give you.
So they sent people after you, and they don't even know why they're after you?
At least he didn't. The paladin might have. He seemed to be the boss of the group, but we ended up killing him.
Oh, yeah.
But he personally, at least from what I could gather, he's just a lackey following orders. I wasn't able to get much out of him. Keep calling me an abomination, though. Do you think I'm an abomination? I know I'm really weird and I talk to myself, but I'm really talking to the Goddess Supreme. I know you can't hear her, but seriously, I'm not a whack job. Do you believe me, Nomu?
Talking to yourself doesn't make you abomination. I've seen abominations.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's about time someone understands.
Sure.
All right. Well, I'm heading out of here. This jail is gloomy and dark. I don't like it in here.
Yeah, he's gonna follow her out.
All right. The guard lets you both out. Yelar, are you outside waiting for them?
Yeah, Yelar's outside.
All right. So as the Nomu and Relinoa step out, she sees you, Yelar. Oh, hey, Yelar, what's going on? You here to talk to the prisoner too?
I was just following Nomu.
Oh, okay. Well, here's Nomu. I thought Nomu was going to talk to the prisoner, but he's not. I tried to question him. He wouldn't really give me much. So I guess from this point on, we just continue traveling.
She said he's a lackey. It's a waste of my time.
Yeah, he was the lackey. He didn't know anything.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I know. It's a bummer. But, what can you do? We might as well enjoy the rest of the festivities before we travel to Manavik, right?
Oh, he slices her the last portion of the rotten shark.
Oh, right. You're still carrying that plate.
The last of it. He saved just enough for her. Not a lot.
Oh, what's this, Nomu?
The rotten shark made by a chef.
It's really good.
Oh, it's a shark? I've never had shark before. All right, I'll try a piece. She takes a bite. Oh, that's delicious. Ooh. Wow, I didn't realize shark was so tasty.
He takes the rest back, downs it.
Yeah, that's enough of it.
Well, with the three of you now, unable to really get much more out of the prisoner, you head back towards the festivities and you spend, I'm assuming, do you guys spend the rest of the day celebrating before you leave, or do you guys prefer to leave later this day?
Yeah, we can use up some of the festivity time and then leave, I guess. I don't know.
Yelar, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, he's gonna enjoy the party.
Okay. So we'll say you spend the rest of the day enjoying the festivities in Ormsa, and about, 7 o'clock in the evening, strikes, festivities begin to die down. You see a lot of the miners now packing their belongings, getting their wagons and carts ready to take back towards the mountains where the mining is. And Stonefist, again, thanks you for everything, and you have an evening to rest, get a night's long rest. And before you all hit the hay, Stonefist has provided Relinoa a horse of her own to travel with you, while your two horses were being taken care of by the villagers. And the next day soon comes, and you're able to go to the stables. All three of you now have horses. Relinoa's horse also has a saddle. It's equipped. I mean, standard saddle, nothing fancy. It's not a well-known horse or anything like that. It was just a spare horse that they were able to provide. But you know that the main road traveled south will eventually reach the city of Manavik in Strider Valley. But as the three of you hop onto your horses, Stonefist is waiting outside at the gate near the exit to the southern side of the village, and he just nods at the three of you. Again, thank you for everything you've done. We'll never forget it here in Ormsa. We hope to see the three of you again. We wish you good luck on your travels to Manavik and to your travels to Wild Run. Yelar, I hope you find that identification card soon enough so you can travel back and forth with ease. Remember, Strider Valley is a dangerous place. Even if you follow the main roads, you might come across giants, wyverns, and anything else that could be dangerous. Always keep your eyes peeled and open for danger. But once you reach Manavik, trust me, much, much bigger city than the small village of Ormsa. You'll enjoy it there. Perhaps someone there might be able to give you an identification card, but to my knowledge, there's no adventurers guild there. But without that, if you don't have any other questions, good luck to the three of you adventurers.
We'll keep sharp eyes out. All right, let's go beef Wellington or whatever food I named my horse.
Relinoa takes the reins of her horse. Oh, well, it's nice having my own horse now. Okay, well, thank you, Sir Aggle Stonefist Chieftain, sir. She salutes. We are now heading to Manavik. And she begins to trot down the road. Do you both follow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as the three of you march down the road on your horses, we will go ahead and say that ends this episode of Taverns and Caverns.
Good shit.
Trying to get a lot of that character development, character interaction going, you know, that's important.
Mhm.
So
I expect the Relinoa to hold a concert. Yep.
at some point, probably
Mm-hmm.
at a bigger venue, she was just on the streets playing a violin, lute,
Yep.
tambourine. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to another episode of Taverns and Caverns. This is your Dungeon Master, HaphazardDM. You can find me on Twitter at HaphazardDM.
This is Robert Jones. I play Nomu the Monstrous. You can find me on YouTube, Trubone, Trubone.
This is Rodimus. You can find me on Twitter at Rodimus7901 or at Blue Sky at Rodimus83.
All right. Those are our players for this season of Taverns and Caverns, Path B. And don't forget to check out the Taverns and Caverns Patreon for exclusive content that you won't want to miss. Until next time, guys, on Taverns and Caverns, take care.